Football Forum.
BBC Radio Leicester.
Well, a very good evening. I'm Owen Palmer-Atkin and welcome to the Football Forum here on BBC Radio Leicester. Coming up on the show tonight, we're going to look at what we learned from Martí Cifuentes' first game in charge at Leicester City, why the need for a striker is now and quickly, and you'll hear our sit down with a Leicester City legend from years gone by. And talking of Leicester City legends, good evening, Matt Piper.
Good evening, Owen. Good evening, everyone.
You almost, it was that little moment there when
I looked over my shoulder when you said, speaking of legends.
Here's Emil Heskey. First up then, let's talk about the new manager, Martí Cifuentes, who succeeded Ruud van Nistelrooy last week as the Foxes' boss, and he will lead Leicester City into the new championship season. Currently, he's in Austria with the Foxes, prepping for the start of that new season, which, as we sit here, is just 20 days away. Pipes, this is the first chance we've had to talk to you about this appointment. I actually wonder if I could take you back with that in mind to when you first heard the news and actually what your reaction was to it.
Well, I've heard of him. I've heard of Martí Cifuentes. And young, enthusiastic, looking to do well, obviously, in his next position. I don't think you can read too much into the QPR. The time that he had there wasn't really backed in the transfer market. Stated that he did need some funds to bring in more players. I think they finished 15th in the season that he was there. So I didn't look into that too much. And then you look at his previous clubs, he did pretty well, albeit not, the highest of profile leagues. But I like the way he sets the team up. He's young, he's enthusiastic. I don't want to get onto the game yet because I know we're probably going to talk about that, but some of the personnel that he picked and the balance that he had out on the pitch I thought was really impressive, albeit I didn't see the whole game. Obviously, I've seen the extended highlights, but yeah, there was a nice mix to it, I thought.
Out of all the candidates, and I know you were, and I'm sure people who will be listening to this will know that you were most excited probably around the Danny Roll sort of decision or potential decision there was there because of the younger age of a manager, the exciting or trying to play exciting football, the way that he set Sheffield Wednesday up. There are actually quite a few similarities in that Martí Cifuentes started his managerial life very, very young, and actually still at 43 years old is relatively young in terms of managers, and has made it very, very clear that he wants to play very attacking football, wants to get Leicester City on the front foot and be in control of games. And actually, I wonder when you hear those kind of things, how excited that makes you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, as always with an appointment, you can talk at the start and get really excited. The proof, as they say, is in the pudding. We've got to see how he starts the season. We've got to get behind him. We've got to back him. But no, for me, it's an exciting appointment, and one that gives me hope. And that's what I was looking for in an appointment. I think you bring someone in like, the manager merry-go-round, and you bring someone in that's been at loads of clubs, has failed a lot of times, and you're expecting something different. A lot of the time, you don't get that, and it isn't an exciting appointment, and that's why I didn't want some of the names that were on the list previously. But as I say, it's all going to come down to if the players are on side, how he moves in the transfer market, if he goes into the transfer market, who's he bringing in, who's he going to try and move on. And as I say, we've only seen one of the games that he's been in charge of, but I thought the balance that we saw throughout the team of that mix of youth and aggression throughout the side, but how he mixed it with the experienced players and the type of football that it looks like he's going to play, I thought it was exciting.
In one of the first interviews that he's done with the football club, which they posted all over their channels, he said he was inspired by Johan Cruyff at Barcelona, and that being the inspiration for him growing up. And that's some inspiration that clearly everyone will hope to see at King Power Stadium next season. But I can't wait to have the conversation with him where I describe Jock Wallace and how he tried to sign Johan Cruyff for Leicester City back in the 80s. But as you rightly said, Pipes, Marti Cifuentes has now taken charge of the Foxes for the very first time as they beat Zalaegerszeg by 1-0 in Hungary over the weekend. That strike came from Jordan Ayew. The Foxes now making it 3 wins from 3 in pre-season so far, ahead of a double-header of fixtures on Friday in Austria before they face Fiorentina, all before the start of their new championship season. And you said, Pipes, you watched the highlights. What did you like? Did you like what you saw from this Marti Cifuentes version of Leicester City?
Yeah, I thought there was aggressive, they were front-footed, moved the ball wide a lot, which is obviously, wingers union. I'm all up for that. Every opportunity, it seemed, we were trying to get the ball wide and the wingers into the game. Flooded the box, moved forward at pace. If there was a selection of passes to make, often it went forward, which I really liked. And then there was some, Jordan Ayew looked good, by the way. I know I was not getting down at him at the end of last season, but I was saying some of these sort of players that are aging now probably should look to move on, but he did look really good, I thought. Good to have Will Alves in the side. I thought he looked good, made some nice contributions. It's a hard one because you don't want to overanalyze it too much, because obviously the level of opponent was, not very high. But, what I saw, I liked.
Fatawu back on the pitch. Monga looked exciting and was causing problems again. Mavididi operating off that left-hand side. McAteer opening his legs into those sprints down the channel. Just looking at you now with that smile on your face, it clearly excited you to see the wingers being implemented in this way.
Yeah.